Good evening and welcome to the Illinois Association for College Admissions Counseling College Fair. We are so glad that you are joining us. My name is James and I will be facilitating this evening. We have 6 wonderful institutions joining us. You are in session B6, and so these are the institutions you'll be hearing under the list on B6. We're very excited about that. A few reminders as we get started. You have the ability to ask questions of any of our institutions using the Q&A feature in Zoom. One piece of advice is just to make sure that you direct those questions specifically to the institution or institutions that you're wanting to hear from. That way you're not getting 6 different answers if that's not really what you're wanting. In this webinar, your microphone and camera are off, and so using that Q&A function will be the primary way to communicate with us. There are additional sessions happening the next hour as well, so please feel free to register for those at strivescan.com/Illinois. And if maybe you missed a session the previous hour or there are other sessions that you're wanting to see, we will have recordings available within about a week or so at the same website, strivescan.com/Illinois. So without further ado, we are going to now hear from our college presenters. And first up, we have Indiana University.
Hey, thanks, James. I will share my screen here. All right. So good evening. Again, my name is Scott Siegel, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Senior Associate Director of Admissions at my alma mater, which is Indiana University, Bloomington. Established in 1820, IU has built a strong tradition of excellence and innovation, both inside and outside the classroom. From nationally recognized academic programs to Division I varsity Big Ten athletics, all on one of the most beautiful campuses in the country. IU will offer you rich experiences inside the classroom and out. Our 33,000 undergraduate students hail from all 50 states and over 130 different countries. IU celebrates not only the geographic diversity of our student body, but its ethnic, religious, political, and socioeconomic diversity that makes our learning community rich. 26% of our student body are domestic students of color. The heart of an IU education is the ability for students to customize their educational experiences. Our 12 schools offer more than 200 majors to choose from, meaning there's something for everyone. Students will be able to work with academic advisors and faculty to create an academic program that's uniquely customizable, whether it's pursuing a double major, multiple minors, or even creating their own major through our individualized major program. IU students are working towards jobs that are not yet imagined. IU Student Support Services help students succeed during their time at Indiana and beyond. Through individualized academic advising sessions, academic support centers throughout campus, and our Wells Library Learning Commons, students have access to tools to help them become the best students they can be. IU's Career Services help students begin their careers before they leave campus by starting early and finishing strong. Our Career Development Center helps students who are still exploring their options understand their skills and interests and helps them navigate IU majors that will help them work in their field of choice. Once a student is declared a major, they will take classes with one of our 12 school-specific career centers and have access to resume workshops, internship and career fairs, and hundreds of employers that come to campus to hire IU students every year. Over 30% of students at IU will study abroad at least once before they graduate. IU offers over 300 study abroad programs in more than 50 countries and 18 different languages, including English. More and more, we see students combining their overseas study experience with an internship or hands-on research experience while they're abroad. At IU, you'll learn outside the classroom just as much as you'll learn inside the classroom. With over 750 different student clubs and organizations, 55 club and intramural sports, and a thriving arts and culture community that boasts over 1,800 performances on campus every year. Watching an opera staged by the world-class Jacobs School of Music to touring the Eskenazi Museum of Art, you'll find that the cultural resources at IU and in the city of Bloomington rival that of a much larger community. And certainly Hoosier spirit is alive and well on the IU campus. Most athletics events are free to students, and our students love to come and cheer on our teams. Assembly Hall boasts the largest student section in NCAA basketball and is known as one of the hardest places in the country to be a visiting team. Hoosier football, along with women's basketball and baseball, have risen to national prominence over the last few years, while men's soccer, as well as men's and women's swimming and diving, continue to be the perennial Big Ten and national championship contenders. Transfer students can submit a complete application to IU through our internal application, Apply IU, which you can find at admissions.indiana.edu. In addition to the application, we will also need an official college and, if you've completed less than 26 credit hours, high school transcript. The minimum GPA to be considered as a transfer student from out of state would be a 2.5. However, most years are much more competitive than that. There are 4 entry points for transfer students: fall, spring, and our 2 summer sessions. You can find out more about deadlines and download our comprehensive transfer guide at admissions.indiana.edu, and I'll put that in the chat as well. You can use IU Bloomington's credit transfer service to search our credit transfer database and determine whether your credits will transfer to IU. To use the CTS, visit cts.admissions.indiana.edu. Again, I'll put that in the chat, and search by the name of the college or university you are currently attending. With virtually every academic program at IU, you'll start in what's called our university division as an incoming transfer student. That's our home for exploratory students. So you'll be a university division student for at least 1 semester while you complete the prerequisite courses required for your major. Students that are interested in nursing should definitely connect with the BSN program at IU before you even apply, because there are very limited spaces available for transfer students within nursing. So thanks so much for your interest in Indiana University. Please let us know how our Office of Admissions can help as you explore the amazing opportunities in Bloomington. As you're doing your search, I would encourage you to check out one of our Transfer Tuesday programs. Every Tuesday, we do a virtual and hopefully soon in-person visit just for transfer students, where you can sit down and meet with a credit transfer analyst, talk about the coursework that you've done already and how that would come to IU and what your great opportunities would be like in Bloomington. So thanks again for your interest, and let us know how we can help.
Fantastic. Thank you so much to Indiana University, and we will now hear from Illinois Wesleyan University.
All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Andrew Starnes, and I am the transfer admission representative for Illinois Wesleyan University. We're moving over from one Bloomington city to another. Bloomington, Illinois is where we are located at. And looking forward to getting a chance to talk to you a little bit about IWU and the transfer steps. I'm a former transfer student myself, so I want to always be able to help make sure I take good care of you throughout the entire process, and get you a little bit more info of how we were recently named #1 in Illinois for job placement after undergrad, and highest earning salary, and also they recently named the hidden gem of the Midwest. So with IWU, we are a small liberal arts private university, got about 1,700 undergrads. And as I mentioned before, we're located in Bloomington, Illinois, about 2.5 hours south of Chicago. Bloomington itself has about 130,000 people in the community. So it is a good sized town. And for the college itself, as I mentioned already, on the smaller side, so you are not going to see any of the large lecture hall style seating. You're going to definitely get a lot less lecture and more discussion at IWU. A lot of great quality conversations with your faculty member and with your peers, and making sure you get a lot of great research opportunities. In fact, we're an undergrad only college, so we do not have any grad students at our school. It's all about the undergraduate experience. So especially if you're considering going to grad school, you get a lot of research opportunity at IWU. A lot of our students, in fact, about 25% are involved in graduate level research with their faculty members. So IWU is broken up into 3 main colleges. We have our School of Nursing, almost 100% job placement in the last 2 decades. We do have our Fine Arts. So if anyone has any strong interest in theater, music, or art, we just have very renowned programs, including our theater program, that just have so much opportunities with the liberal arts embedded with that. And then our College of Liberal Arts itself contains the majority of our 80 major and minor combinations, everything from neuroscience to physics, political science, our pre-med biology track. There's so many different things to choose from, and plenty of paths for everyone to get you into your career or into grad school. Now at IW, we do take a lot of pride in diversity. We're continuing to try to become a more and more inclusive campus. We have right now about a third of our students on campus are students of color, and we have an office devoted to our diversity programs called Office of Diversity Inclusion, or referred to as ODI on campus. Do everything from special graduation services for our LGBTQ plus community to pre-orientation student opportunities for our students of color to make sure they feel very much like they have a voice and a place on campus. To even first gen students, we had almost half or 30% of our incoming past class as first gen. So we're just able to make sure that we want to be very open and accessible for all students and backgrounds. Our campus life, we have so much in common with the larger universities, again, minus the large student population. We have over 120 different active student organizations that are student run. We do have Greek life, so we do have fraternity and sororities on campus, very much active and very popular as well. And just tons of different events and ways to connect across the campus itself as well. We are D3 NCAA. We do have 24 different active sports for our men and women, and also esports as well. We tend to do very well in our conference, the CCIW. In fact, our men's basketball team just won the tournament title last week for the first time in school history. So we are just so proud of all our athletics across the board as they do very well in our conference and even postseason league play. Just so much opportunities to connect. And even if you don't play a sport, just being able to come out and cheer on your peers is just what makes such a great atmosphere on our campus. For financial aid, we do try to make our school very affordable. We don't want anyone to be intimidated by the fact that we are a private institution. We are able to get great scholarship opportunities for our students. Over 95% of our students will receive some type of aid. For our transfer students, we do have a transfer merit scholarship. Those do go as $30,000 up to $30,000 renewable each year. That is going to be based on your overall merit, specifically your college GPA coming in. So we will analyze that, try to make sure we're doing everything we can to maximize, including that great in-state Illinois aid as well. Just make sure you do add us to your FAFSA. So the next steps for our transfers, for any transfers that are looking to start with us this year, our fall application is very much up and running. We are on the Transfer Common app. We have our own application, and we will work with transfer students really through the summer into early August. So you've not missed out on anything yet. Again, if you're considering applying for this fall, including financial aid, if you are looking at a little bit further start time, our spring application and fall application for 2022 will go live in the fall, and the application is always free. All we ask for is a copy of your official college transcripts, and we may be looking at some high school material as well. I will be the one to help walk you through that step to make sure we take good care of you. And then, of course, once we get you evaluated, we'll make sure we transfer over your credits. If you're coming from one of our Illinois community colleges with an associate's, we do have articulations to help take care of our main gen ed requirements. So that way we can get you on a proper graduation track. And even if you aren't coming in with that background, we're still going to do everything we can to maximize your credits and make sure that we get you in and out on a proper graduation time frame. Again, my name is Andrew Starnes. I do work with transfer students. Look forward to helping you out through the entire process. My contact info is in the top left. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And we are doing in-campus visits in person safely. We do have virtual events going on this spring and summer. So whichever way you prefer, we hope to visit with you either in person or virtual soon. Thanks, and you all have a great evening.
Fantastic, and thank you to Illinois Wesleyan for joining us this evening. And just as a reminder, students, please send in any questions that you have of our institutions, and they will be sure to answer those. Moving right along, we are now going to hear from North Central College.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here and talking with you all. I'm going to take a second to share my screen. I am Megan Costanzo. I'm a transfer admissions counselor here at North Central College. We're located in Naperville, Illinois, so about a 30-minute train ride from Chicago, not too far. I think really it's important when considering the next step and your transfer institution, the best fit for you, to think about what a college is all about, who they are, and are they going to be a great fit for you? Is it going to feel like home, and are you going to feel supported? So I wanted to take some time to just talk about North Central and who we are and what our goal is. So our goal is to help students be prepared to exceed their personal best. And that's in all areas, in athletics, in academics. We want to make sure we're setting you up for success and you're able to be not only prepared for your first job, but also your last job. Because as things change, we want you to be able to grow, be innovative, and be the best you can be. So we try and do that by elevating confidence through inspired instruction and helping students find that specific path to success. And I really do think at North Central, you're going to find this is something that our faculty, staff, and students have adapted to, and really a mantra that we truly believe in, and really does help how we work with our students every day and with our community. And really moving forward, just to give you a good idea of North Central, we are an intimate campus. So again, we're a smaller campus, kind of like Illinois Wesleyan, we're in the same conference. And we have about 3,000 students that call North Central home. And it's a really great opportunity for you all to have this intimate connection in terms of your faculty, staff, and be able to have that mentorship that really does help you find your very own path to success. So about 3,000, like I said, calls our campus home. One thing I like to mention, especially for our local Illinois students that are considering transferring to North Central, we have 28 different states represented and 40 countries represented. I think this shows that we have a lot of students coming from a ton of different background stories, and you're going to be sitting next to someone who's going to help you grow in the classroom. Another key factor I like to mention about our population is that we're 40% first-generation college students. This is huge. I like to mention this because, I'm a first-generation alumni graduate from North Central myself, and I think this is really telling of the support we have on our campus and how we're working to make sure you're able to go through the application process, the admissions process, and be set up through your time at North Central. And I think it's also telling, even if you aren't a first generation student, of this type of services that we have. Cardinal First is a program that we have on campus that supports first generation programming and first generation students. It's award winning and an absolutely great way to help gain some of those skills and confidence I was talking about in terms of our North Central mantra. In the classroom, we have about 20 students. So again, that smaller, more intimate setting, and we have no teaching assistants. So we have a lot of opportunities for you to really get connected and mentored, as I've talked about. One thing that I really like to mention about North Central when considering our population as well is that we're in Naperville, Illinois, which is an amazing suburb that is growing and has a lot of opportunities in terms of restaurants, fun stuff to do right here in Naperville, but it also has amazing internships and job opportunities right here, as well as, like I mentioned earlier, Chicago is just down the way. In terms of getting connected and figuring out if North Central is the best fit for you, I always suggest thinking about 3 different things. First, it should always be academics, but then I think you should think about community and environment. And in terms of community, we have 75 different student organizations. We have 27 different sports. We have 40 national championships, so we're pretty good in the sports that we're in. And again, we're in the CCIW. So lots of different opportunities to find your community on campus, be supported, and really figure out if North Central is the best fit for you. Like I was saying, academics should be the #1 reason you choose an institution. So here are the 60 different programs North Central has. We have a lot of different options for students to choose from. And like I said, we will work with you on an individual level so we can work to build that your very own path to success. And that means we can help you figure out a double major, minor, a lot of different opportunities, and figuring out what academic program is going to be the best fit for you. Even as a prospective student, we have availability for faculty meetings so you can learn more about the academic programs. And of course, your admissions counselor is always available to talk to you more about our programs at North Central. As you move forward, I want to just again mention that you can always meet with your counselor. We do a lot of individual meetings. We have one-on-one meetings through Zoom, in person. We have tours. We will work to make sure you feel as informed as possible when deciding on your next step at North Central. And we have a pretty cool team. Nick is our director. McKenna is our assistant director, as a counselor, and then here is me. And then Nicole. We have 5 different counselors, and we all have a territory to serve in the state of Illinois. And we have specific community colleges we work with so that we can be very individual and we can continue to help you through the admissions process. One thing I like to mention is that our application is completely free. You submit that application, you send those official transcripts, and you have opportunities for 16 to 20,000 in scholarship. So I definitely suggest, even if you're slightly considering North Central, submitting that application and getting all the facts so you can compare it to other institutions you're thinking about and figuring out the best next step for you, and figuring out if North Central is going to be home for you. That's what we all want as admissions counselors. We're here to make sure we're setting you up for success and supporting you. So here is our contact information. Again, we will send this in the chat, but thanks so much for your time. And I'll add this in the chat.
Fantastic. Thank you so much to North Central College for joining us this evening. Just as a reminder, most of our representatives are putting in links and other information within the chat. And also you can ask questions of institutions by using the Q&A function. So we are now going to hear from Trinity Christian College.
Good evening. I'm going to get my screen share up a second. Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is Brittany Minnesma, and I have the pleasure of serving as Trinity's Associate Director for Traditional Undergraduate Admissions. And Trinity, I want to tell you a couple quick facts about us. Sorry, one second here. My forward button is not working. Oops. My apologies. Sorry about that, guys. I gotta figure out why this is not working for me.
We can either take one more minute or we can move to the next presenter and then try to come back to you.
You know what? I'll just leave it on this one. I'm sorry that I'm having some technical difficulties here, but I will give you some quick facts about Trinity for the next few minutes instead. So I want to start by just telling you a couple of quick facts about us. Trinity was founded in 1959, and our mission is to really develop students holistically. So we care about you being prepared academically for a number of different professions that you might have careers in throughout the span of your life, as well as helping to prepare you spiritually, and for you to be welcomed into a Christian environment by professors who all are subscribers of the Christian faith, and learn how you can integrate that into your own college experience and into your life so that you are being prepared as a Christian leader. So we have many different academic programs. We have over 70 different academic programs that you could study here. Some of the top ones of those are nursing, business, education, special education, psychology. I personally studied communication arts, and there's a lot of flexibility within that. So as a transfer student, maybe you have already finished many of your core classes. At Trinity, we would call those foundations. And we are a liberal arts college. So if you need to finish up any of your foundational courses, then you'd have the flexibility and room to do that at Trinity alongside your major. We can boast over 12 different athletic programs. that you could participate in. We have a lot of different clubs on campus. There's different ministries that you could choose to be involved and become a leader in one of the 30 clubs that Trinity offers. Or maybe you're interested in also getting a scholarship for something like that. If you feel led to be leading in a men or women's ministry, or if you want to be an RA on campus and live in the dorms, there are scholarships available for you there too. So with financial aid for transfer students, our academic scholarships range between $4,000 to $10,000. You could also apply for some leadership-based scholarships. If you are a part of Pi Theta Kappa, you could get that scholarship. And then we also have a really neat community connection scholarship. So if you attend some local community colleges in Illinois, Moraine Valley, Prairie State, College of DuPage, Morton College, among several others, then our community connection scholarship is $5,000 renewable each year. So definitely a lot of time for you to build up your financial aid. So how do you apply as a transfer student? You're going to go to our website, and it's right there front and center on the front page. You'll click on the apply button. We'll need your official college transcripts. And then once we have your official transcripts, we'll be able to provide you a transfer guide, let you know how your credits have transferred over to Trinity, and you'll be in touch with one of our 2 transfer admissions counselors. Their names are Cynthia and Mackenzie. Cynthia mostly works with students in the state of Illinois, and Mackenzie works with out-of-state students or students who are transferring from a school out of state, and they are definitely here to support you and help you know what your next steps are. In conclusion, I will post a couple links, resources in the chat here. For those of you that have questions, I'll get to those in the Q&A, and would love to make sure that I get you connected to your transfer representative at Trinity Christian College. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much to Trinity Christian College for joining us. And just as a reminder, we are now getting kind of toward the end of our presentations. We have 2 more institutions presenting. So students, please feel free to send in any questions that you have, and our reps will continue to send links and other things like that through the chat. We are now going to hear from Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Matt. I am Matt from MIAD. That is the fast way to say the Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design. Let me get my screen share up here. And mine's pretty quick because we're a pretty specific type of college. So I'll just kind of get to the core details here. So again, MIAD is the Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design. We are a specialized college of visual arts and design. So that's an important thing to kind of determine there, is that we have visual, fine arts, in design majors. So if you're interested in something like performing arts, whether that be music, theater, literary arts, we're not going to have a major specifically in that. So this is for all visual content. And obviously we are located in Milwaukee, right downtown. This is us, 245,000 square foot building for about 900 or so students. So there's an incredible amount of creative square footage per student, if you would. So who are we? What are we about? So I can actually tell you about each of our majors because we only have 5. So I'll do a quick rundown of that so you understand, what is available there. They're all listed here in the middle of the screen. I'll start with illustration and communication design. Those are the two-dimensional design disciplines at MIAD, which are very popular. You can think of communication design as essentially our graphic design discipline, visual communications. It's sometimes called, especially at the community college, technical college level. That's a really great discipline to do in Milwaukee, especially because we have so many advertising agencies in downtown Milwaukee in the 3rd Ward, which is the neighborhood that we're in. So you can look up the historic 3rd Ward if you're interested in Milwaukee. If you're interested in MIAD, it is, again, considered the creative district. So there's going to be a lot of internship and professional collaboration opportunities right there. So again, communication design is sort of all things graphic design, but we don't call it that because in this day and age, not all of the advertising media that we're exposed to is printed or stands still. So we really like students to think of, Now think of an identity, a brand, a project, and all of the various different platforms in which an audience can access that. So in a way, our students are sort of redefining what communication design means all the time, because that's art and design for you. Art history is progressing as we speak, and we are definitely a nimble enough institution that if you're a very motivated student, you can kind of show us what's possible in communication design or any of our majors, and frankly provide pathways for other students, other peers. Moving back here to illustration, again, this is also part of the 2D design disciplines at MyEd, and illustration is by far MyEd's most popular major. So there's certainly things in common with illustration and communication design. A lot of times they're sort of solving the same problems, but illustrators are really creating original image content to do it. So where a communication designer might be integrating typography and photography together for an ad, an illustrator is probably going to draw something, illustrate something to work for maybe the same ad. But at the same time, we get a lot of students who are interested in developing characters, thinking about narrative-based work, whether that's comic books or concept arts for things that might become video games or graphic novels. So a great couple of 2D design majors there. Here in the middle, NSP, that stands for New Studio Practice, and that's MyEd's fine art major. So if you're somebody who's interested in pursuing something like painting, sculpture, art that exists for its own sake and isn't necessarily containing any utility.
Yeah, I'm just watching.
Or solving any problems in that sense, is going to fall into the fine arts major. So work for people's homes, work for galleries, work for museums, public art. COVID has done a lot of interesting things to our culture over the past year, but something that I've noticed is that the folks from MyEd graduates that I know that do public art, murals, they have had a fantastic year. So just a lot of different contexts fit into the sort of fine art spectrum, which is why, again, we call it New Studio Practice, and it's intended to be an integrated fine art discipline. So maybe you love drawing and that's sort of your primary, but you're going to be in a community with artists who solve problems in other ways, and that might help you follow your ideas to the best formats for them. And so the last two majors, product design and interior architecture and design, are both the 3D design disciplines. Product design is what it sounds like. It's the products that we use in our lives. So everything from your car to your water bottle. Somebody was thinking about the user experience there. It does tend to be the highest paying major for graduates. We've got folks who work at Harley Davidson, folks that work at General Motors, folks that work at GE Healthcare. And then interior architecture and design is kind of what it sounds like. Is it an interior design major? Is it an architecture major? No, it's kind of a little bit of both. So we sort of follow architectural interventions from the scale of our bodies and how we relate to furniture and fixture up to the scales of buildings and even landscapes. We're a small school. We're about 900 students right now, undergraduate. We're exclusively undergraduate. Everyone who goes to MyEd is working towards a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree, a BFA, which is a specialized degree in the fine arts. So that means down here at the bottom, 2/3 of what you're going to be doing is rooted in classes where you're making stuff, and only the other third is going to be rooted in some of those more traditional writing, art history, humanities, and natural science classes. So obviously you're supposed to get a very balanced education. We might only have 5 majors, but we have a tremendous amount of minors. You can minor in any of those majors, as well as specific minors in things like book arts, furniture design, digital media production that's particularly popular. We are paired with Marquette if you wanted to minor in advertising, psychology, copywriting, or business. And you can study at other art schools like us for a semester, as well as studying abroad. I'll just let you sort of soak up all these images here instead of kind of talking about it. Everybody's going to have a studio. We do have apartments across the street, and then lots of specialized facilities. We're a very tight-knit community. That's what artists and designers need. And then to wrap things up here, application is free, myed.edu/apply now. We will need a portfolio. That's the biggest difference from us, is that you need to submit examples of your visual work, but we're here to help. I am the only transfer guy at MyEd. So here's actually my next slide. Come and find me, Matthew Sothen at myed.edu. I do it all. Send me your transcript, send me your portfolio, and we'll get you working towards a transfer scholarship. Thanks for being here tonight. Take care.
Fantastic, and thank you to MyEd for joining us. And as we have one more presenter to go, please make sure that you get those questions sent in so that our representatives can get those answered for you by the time we wrap up. And then after this presentation, if we have time, we will have just another question that we pose to all of our reps joining us. So last but certainly not least, we are now going to hear from Lincoln College. Maybe we're not. Ashley, are you there? Okay, I think we're having some technical difficulties. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to invite all
Hi,
of our reps to go
everyone.
ahead.
I will get my.
Oh, perfect. Can you hear us, Ashley?
I can hear you guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, you're good to go.
Okay. Okay. So I'm here for Lincoln College. I am Lincoln College's transfer admissions counselor. I actually specifically work with our adult program, but I do know about our traditional campus. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about our traditional campus, which is actually in Lincoln, Illinois. The AIB program, or the adult program that I work for, we have a location in Bloomington, Illinois, and then we have satellite locations in Peoria, Illinois, Oglesby, Illinois, and we do offer some of our courses at our traditional campus in Lincoln. So a little history on Lincoln College. We are actually the only institution named for President Abraham Lincoln while he was still alive. The people. So our student ratio is a 15-to-1 ratio, which is great. You get a more personalized experience with Lincoln College, which is what we strive for. We want you to experience excellence at Lincoln College. 100% of our full-time traditional program students will be approved for scholarships of some kind. We have many degrees to offer at our traditional campus. I do know one of our largest growing degrees is our radio, television, and new media degree. Our housing options, we have a traditional style, suite style, apartment style, and some off-campus options. We really were able to branch out. I guess that's kind of a silver lining with the pandemic, is that we were able to branch out with our housing. We are part of the NAIA in athletics, which is great. Like I said, I am not necessarily the person you want to talk to when it comes to the traditional campus. I will point you in the right direction. So this is just kind of my quick overview on what our traditional campus can offer. As you can see, that our tuition costs for 21-22 is right around $18,000 in comparison to other four-year private institutions. So our AIB program, and yes, we do understand the pun when it comes to Lincoln College, but AIB stands for Accelerated Bridge to Education. We're a hybrid accelerated program for working adults, which I think kind of sets Lincoln College apart, because we do try to focus on those non-traditional students, which at this point in the world we live in now are a portion of our community. And we also know that 70% of our students, of our AIB students, our adult students, are women. So just kind of some unique things when it comes to that. But our hybrid program, you attend class one night a week for 5 weeks, supplemented with online learning, and then you move on to the next class in 5 weeks. So we essentially take a 16-week semester, smash it down into 5 weeks, allowing you to complete your bachelor's degree in an accelerated period of time and still take care of all of your full-time responsibilities. We're $350 a credit hour starting this August, which still keeps us one of the most competitive institutions in Illinois. Both applications for both programs are completely free. The other thing that we have added just recently is we also are offering 8-week master degree programs. So we offer an MBA and a master's in organizational leadership. As you can see, those are $440 a credit hour, and they run 8 weeks instead of the 5 weeks like our AIB program. They are cohorted, so they start at specific times of the year, and they are located in Normal, Illinois. So that's just a quick rundown of the things that Lincoln College can offer you, and I will put our link and that in the chat for everybody. So thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much to Lincoln College for wrapping us up with the presentation portion. I want to invite all of our institutions to go ahead and turn back on their video, and we want to just kind of pose a question and have everybody answer it in the order that they gave their presentation. And so the question is, what advice would you give someone going through the transfer process? And I'll get that put up on the screen, and we'll start with Indiana University.
Hey, thanks, James. I alluded to it earlier. I think the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation with somebody at the institutions that you're thinking about transferring to can be very helpful. I know that's difficult right now in some cases, but even if it's an individual Zoom call or phone call, to just kind of walk through the process and certainly taking advantage of any online resources. I know many of us have mentioned credit transfer articulation catalogs on our websites, or other resources where you can do some work ahead of time and look to see how courses will transfer. But since it is such a unique experience for a prospective student, and it is a different process at different institutions, having that individualized conversation, I think, is really important.
Yeah, I think just agreeing with that 100%. Get to know your transfer counselor, especially if you're applying to a smaller school. Going to get a lot of quality one-on-one interaction on that side. So that way, if you need help with anything, whether it be financial aid, next steps, visiting, there's just so many different ways to be able to really make that a more convenient and less intimidating process, but also to still be, know that we're going to treat you not like you're an incoming freshman. You've been there, you've done a lot of the general things. We just want to make this an easy step for you at the institution that you're considering. And of course, what university you're looking at, how do they help transfer students? What makes that stand out for you compared to the other traditional admission process?
I would echo a lot of what everyone has said. Really connecting with your transfer counselor is the best way to really get started with this transfer process and make sure you have a smooth transition and you feel as informed as possible when it comes to your next step and the best next step for you. And like I said earlier, I think that no matter how many times you've been through this process, no matter how many times you transferred, each school is a little bit different. And I think it's good to frame the college search process in 3 different ways. Like I said, academics first, community, and then environment. What do you need to be successful within those 3 things in order to get to your goals? So definitely reach out to your counselor, set up that individual meeting, and frame the college search process in those 3 ways.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a whole lot that I could add to that. This is all really great advice. I would say that one-on-one connection with your admissions representative is going to be huge to make sure that this is going to be the right fit for you. So hopefully it's the only time that you are transferring, and make sure you get on campus. That's going to tell you a lot if you can get on campus and figure out what are those unique things about each college campus, their environment, the people that you run into. That's going to tell you a lot about if it's going to be the right place for you.
Hi again. So yeah, I agree. There's been some really great answers coming through. So I'm not sure exactly what I can add. I'm going to agree with everybody that, yeah, advocate for yourselves, talk, make those connections, think about it as you building a relationship with the college, starting to build that relationship, and sort of pay attention to the different relationships that you build with other institutions, because something about that community is probably going to be echoed or translated through the interactions that you have with it. I would also say, don't make any assumptions. Make sure that instead of assuming something, you get the question answered. I would say that's especially relevant if anyone out there is considering art and design school, just because our curriculum is so different. I've met plenty of students that are like, hey, I've got my associates, I'm ready to be a junior at MyEd, but if you haven't taken a significant amount of those studio credits, those art and design credits, that's what has all the power to shorten your program. So I'd say the earlier you can begin building those relationships with the college and their admissions office, their office of transfer, the better.
And I ditto everybody. I going last. I really am not sure what I can say. Matthew I was need to ask all the questions. I know for me Personally, I've worked from home during most of it, 7, 8 o'clock at night. If it's something really important, find a way to communicate it with me. If I don't know the answer, I will find the answer. Just because I work for our A program doesn't mean that I can't get you to who you need to get to for our traditional campus and vice versa. So no question is a silly question. You just really need to ask and be informed so you can make the right decision for you, because ultimately this is about you and we're here for you, and we want you to be the most successful you can be in your college career.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for providing those answers and your words of wisdom for those of us, or for those joining this evening and watching the recordings later on. Thank you, students, parents, advocates, for joining us. As you exit this webinar, you're going to have access to just a really brief survey to let us know about how your experience went. It should only take just a couple seconds to complete, and that's just going to help StriveScan as they plan future fairs. You have the option to sign up for more sessions happening this evening over the next hour, and you can do that by going to strivescan.com/Illinois, and that is also where you will have access to view recordings of these presentations. And so if there were any representatives that you haven't gotten to hear from, or if you're just wanting to go back and watch this one again, you will absolutely be able to do that, typically within about a week or so. Again, thank you so much to our colleges and universities for joining us, and to those of you joining via Zoom, students and parents and the like. Everybody have a great evening. Thank you.